This show is brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron sends gourmet recipes and all the fresh ingredients you need to make them right to your door. To see what's on the menu this week, visit blueapron.com. And our listeners get their first 2 meals free. Just go to blueapron.com/screenplay.
Welcome to a Halloween-themed episode of Screenplay. As you can see, we're all dressed in our Sunday best.
I realize I'm missing a button. Hold on.
Hey, when did Luke Skywalker get Converse? Did he get those on Coruscant? Did he get those at Sky City? Where did he get them?
Wait, are you doing a joke, Blaine? What's going on?
Yeah. Luke, I'm jealous of you.
I wanted that chair, so I'm really upset.
Hold on, wait. Let's talk about who we got on today's show. We got Chris Demarais from Social Disorder. Chris?
I'm been working at Rooster Teeth for a while. I'm also an archaeologist. I like to go on adventures and look for, any
Fluke Skywalker.
Rare artifacts that belong in museums. I like to go out and get those.
And who are you today?
Oh, I'm Luke Skywalker.
You're an asshole.
And then next time we have Mr.
He was
Blaine.
so proud of that archaeologist joke, Blaine. You have to know. He plotted it.
Such an idiot.
Well, because you're technically an archaeologist as well, right?
Who?
Lesser known one.
No, Indiana.
Yeah, of course he is.
If you can't tell, Blaine, if you're listening to audio, Blaine is dressed like Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Yes.
And I have my satchel filled with beer.
Oh.
Nice.
Hey,
Those belong in a museum.
This belongs in a museum.
And next to Blaine, we have Miss Meg Turney.
Hello.
And you are?
I'm dressed as Totoro.
Nice. And shout out to your friend, I guess, who made that?
Lisa Lou Who. It's Lisa Lou Who on Twitter. She's amazing. And she made this for me as a surprise. I ordered a hoodie from her. And then it was like, surprise Totoro.
I thought
Nice. And I'm JJ. I'm your host, and I'm dressed as the kid from Moonrise Kingdom. It's kind of a rehash of last year's outfit. I went as Scott Pilgrim for the live stream, but that outfit doesn't look nearly as cool unless I have a Ramona Flowers to hang out with. And in the video store, we have Andy, the intern, and she is otherwise known as
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
I see you have your multi-pass.
The best part of her costume you can't see is she's wearing jeans. And
Yeah, stand up. Let's see what this looks like.
No, she's not going to stand up.
I have leggings and stuff. I didn't wear them because nobody can
She's
see
like,
them.
It's awesome.
She's
She
at
looks like
work.
Lilu, like she works at a video store. Like Lilu's casual Lilu.
Casual Lilu.
I loved it.
Everyone loves that movie. I think last week we talked about, I think we were talking about, like, interspecies, like, alien, hooking up with an alien.
Uh-huh.
I think that happened last week. And I think the hot...
With who?
I think we were talking about hot aliens last week.
Okay.
When you think of a hot alien, who do you think of?
Well, now that we're talking Fifth
about
Element, I
video
think about like the opera singer that
I brought her up
she's
last
super hot.
Yeah. And I think she's a real singer. I think at the time she was Luc Besson's girlfriend or wife. And then I think he left her for Mila Jovovich.
I don't know. I might like rap Tails in Avatar. Or whatever
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
Oh.
Like
Yeah. Yeah, whatever they...
Audio listeners, I put my fingers together.
They made smacky noises.
They heard that part.
What's funny is all these kind of scientist type of folks were talking about Avatar came out. They were saying, like, why do the Na'vi have breast if they don't need air, or if it's like this kind of planet? They were getting all scientific, and James Cameron said, because Avatar is a movie for humans. So we put boobs on everything.
Zoe Saldana plays two extremely hot
She's
aliens.
on every franchise.
She was the really hot alien from
Guardians of the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And also, is she kind of an alien in Star Trek?
No, she's human.
Oh, okay.
Can we talk about Alien, though? Because, like, the xenomorph? No?
You want to hook up with the alien from Alien?
Obviously, it was a
He's
joke.
got 2
No,
mouths.
it's got.
It's fine. I'm not
I think
gonna sort
sometimes
any
it has
old joke.
3
Please.
mouths.
Sigourney Weaver's character in
Yeah.
Alien Resurrection is actually a hybrid of a human and an alien.
I just watched the original Alien again, just recently, like literally like 2 days ago. It is so good, and it's one of the few movies where the director's cut is shorter than the original.
That's interesting.
The theatrical
Oh,
release.
whoa.
That's really weird.
Game over.
But
man.
all sorts of great trivia.
I love the story of James Cameron. It's kind of a rumor. I don't know if it's like a tall tale, but the way he pitched Aliens, the sequels, because Ridley Scott did Alien, and apparently he put a bunch of like suits in a room, and he wrote Alien on a chalkboard, and everyone's like, okay, all right, and then he put an S and made it into a $. It was like, and everyone's like, here's a check.
That's bullshit. That's awesome.
I
though.
heard that
If
story.
It's not. It's pretty
Well,
amazing.
what did he have behind him at that point in time? Hey, had he already done Terminator?
I think he had done like a Piranha movie.
Well, you know what? There's Alien and Terminator were made. Aliens and Terminator were made pretty closely together, right? One of the movies was he shot in the UK, and a bunch of his workers. I was told, Gavin was telling me that a bunch of the UK workers didn't know who this guy was. Like he was still kind of like an unknown when they were shooting it, and he would like demand all these things, and they'd be like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Screw yourself, like screw you." And then they were like, "Oh shit!" Like after it all was said and done, they were like, "Oh shit." That guy's the real deal.
Yeah. He's like, fuck you, I'm gonna go down to the Titanic and become like a sea explorer. It's crazy that he's like one of the handful of people that have been that deep in the world.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
You know, it's like that Google guy.
He is super passionate about underwater exploration.
Well, we talk about space all the time, especially in movies, but you know, I think did they say there's more of the ocean that's been unnavigated?
Well, there's more space than there's ocean.
Well, yeah, I know, but we know there's a lot about the ocean we don't know about.
Maybe like than we know about like our solar system.
Yeah. Well, there's less. Yeah, there's still a ton of the ocean that's never.
Well, look at Abyss. If you look at Abyss and Titanic, it's obviously this guy loves the ocean.
Awesome. Oh, well, and then a big thing in Avatar 2 and 3 apparently is they're supposed to be exploring the underwater regions
I heard that too.
of wherever that place
let
is.
it go,
Pandora.
He doesn't care if you support him. He's mad at you.
Yeah. It's all right.
I'm looking forward to Avatar 2 and 3 just so I can try to guess from the trailer what movies they're ripping off. Kind of like the first time.
To me, I want to see the new Avatar just because there hasn't been another good 3D movie in a while. Like,
yeah,
you know, some like Avatar.
Oh, there's been some decent 3D
about
conversions.
Gravity?
Final Destination.
Gravity. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Final
true.
Destination
I didn't see
3D.
That
That one is good.
Final Destination 1?
There's a Final Destination 3D, and actually, it's a wonderful movie to put in 3D. Like, who cares about 3D? But like, Final Destination's great for that.
Back at UT, we had the first like 3D curriculum, so I was like, we got to film with 3D cameras and like watch 3D films. We saw a lot of shitty ones, like I think My Bloody Valentine or something like that.
Yeah,
I saw that in theaters.
That was like one of the first. Yeah, that was like one of the first.
But like, there's a lot of good 3D out there. There's a lot of shit.
Well, I remember when My Bloody Valentine, the band, which I'm a big fan of, was playing a show in Austin. I was telling Chris, and I think Miles went. All these people were flocking because they hadn't played a show in forever. And Chris looked over at me and goes, "My Bloody Valentine? Who cares that much about that stupid movie?" And I was like, "It's kind of a big band."
Classic Chris.
But no, you know, some movies have done okay in 3D. Like I have Life of Pi at the house, and that looks great on 3D. Well, it depends. CGI movies are always.
That's what I say. Animated movies can't like Up or in any Pixar. Just they look good in 3D.
Oh yeah, the best part about Up in 3D was you could cry behind the glasses, and people wouldn't know.
Nobody knew. Fog up though. I got charged for a 3D ticket going to Birdman this weekend at Violet Crown. That was not a. 3D movie.
It's not a 3D movie at all.
Yeah, I was like 3D prices. I didn't know Birdman was 3D, but all right.
I haven't seen it yet.
Did anyone see X-Men in 3D?
I did
the
not.
last one.
Unfortunately, no.
It was good. I don't know if it was shot in 3D, but you know when they would do the they weren't portals, but that girl would make the portals and like those looked great in 3D because you could see the depth. Like one hole was deeper than the other.
That's awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah, if you go into the science behind 3D and how they actually do that and the camera tilting stuff, it's like it's really complex.
Well, I hate it.
I'm still looking forward to seeing your 3D movie, Blaine, that you shot.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, a while ago when I was in film school, I asked JJ if he could be in one of my 3D films, and he was like, "Stupid."
I played a cop.
Yeah, we should watch that sometime.
In school, me and Aaron from Social Disorder, we did a 3D movie where we just got to.
You said that, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's
it was fun. It was like intentionally bad.
How did you do it?
It was like we just got two like handy cams and built a little rig, and then
there's no way that looked.
Oh, it looked really bad.
Because like that's
really
like
bad.
the thing is like the lens focal lengths have to be precisely the same. There's all this stuff that goes into it. You know, it's crazy.
No, I mean it was fun.
I realize now that I'm sitting on a panel full of people. None of you wear glasses.
I do.
Glasses.
Not for real, yeah.
I have really bad eyes.
But do you just not wear them in your day-to-day, or
often.
do you wear contacts or anything?
I wear
so you have to
contacts.
double up.
Yeah, I have to double up, and that's the only reason
Like
I
a
hate
blue
3D.
blockers old person?
It's the thing is that the 3D glasses just sit far enough out on your nose that it feels like someone's got a finger in front of your nose, and it makes your nose tingle. It's really disappointing.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's funny. So, Blaine, you're talking about Birdman this week, and before we start talking about movie news and all the stuff that's going on with Marvel and all the crazy things that just got announced today, I wanted to talk about some movies. Did anyone see any movies recently that kind of spoke to them? I think, Chris, you probably saw Gone Girl not too long ago.
Yeah, Gone Girl was awesome.
And then, Blaine, you and I both saw Birdman recently.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think of what another movie I saw. But yeah, Birdman.
Birdman was this thing where it wasn't at all what I expected, and I know that I know more about the film than like the general kind of audience that might think that it might be some sort of a action movie because it's totally not.
The trailers, yeah.
But it still wasn't at all what I thought it was. And afterwards I saw it, I was like, that movie was way too hyped. And then later that night I was thinking about it and going, but it was good, you know? So I think it is a good movie. It's just hard right now because it's got so much hype around it. But Blaine, you liked it?
Yeah. Jesus, I'm blanking on his name. The lead. What's his
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I do that a lot. I get the Batmans all mixed up. I was going to say Val Kilmer. Yeah, Michael Keaton did freaking amazing, and I want to see more of him. And I think that's the big thing, and you and I have talked about this, is the resurgence of Michael Keaton. Like, his career is going to get jump-started, and he's going to be back again, hopefully. Yeah. But great performance.
Something I was telling you about the whole... First of all, Michael Keaton, he does kind of like what Jack Nicholson did in About Schmidt, where Jack Nicholson usually always plays like way too cool and younger than he really... Like his original age, they always have him with younger women. But in About Schmidt, the Alexander Payne movie, he played like an old man whose wife was old and she died, and he has to like kind of like, figure out who he is. But like there were so many shots of him up close in his face, and like him in a hot tub. You just saw him look old, and his like you could tell like they weren't flattering shots. Yeah. But to put yourself out there, he got nominated. And Michael Keaton does the same thing, where they show him like he takes off his wig and you realize he's balding, and you get up close in his face, and you really realize how old he's gotten over the years. And this is the unfortunate thing with people like Michael Keaton, who was Beetlejuice and Batman. He's such a crazy actor, and Jim Carrey's similar. Like, they're so expressive with their faces that over time, like Jim Carrey's like, you can see all the wrinkles in his face, and the same thing with Michael Keaton, because these are like expressive people. So it's just
it's contorting their face.
Yeah, you can really tell how much they've aged.
Well, and for those of you who don't know, brief synopsis: Birdman is about a washed-up action actor, and it's almost as if Michael Keaton. It's like Michael Keaton himself, because Michael Keaton was Batman back in the Tim Burton films. Anyways, it's this action actor who decided to do a stint in Broadway, and he's directing and performing in his own play, and it's. I can't even compare it to any other movie. It's like a play.
Like I said, the more I thought about it, the more I felt like it really was a play, because there's a play going on, but the whole movie takes place on one block in New York, and they never really leave from there. And the camera and the way it's edited is to make it look like it's all done in one shot.
Yeah.
So, and Emma Stone did a really good job. Zach Galifianakis plays a subdued guy. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it makes you wonder about like, what am I doing in life, and is any of this worth it? Because like it's all about
existential, honest, JJ.
Yeah, I know. What does it all mean? Pale blue dot. We're just a little thing in the universe, man.
Well, the ocean's bigger.
At least we're on the ocean, man.
Anyway, so it's a little unfair to talk about Birdman too much. We're the only ones who've seen it, but I definitely think you should check it out. I know it's really hard because it's not in everyone's city. We're very lucky. We live in Austin, so we get a lot of movies. Yeah. But I would definitely suggest checking it out.
Yeah. And also keep an eye on the editing. It's really clever. Like JJ said, it is supposed to be made as if it's all in one shot. And they even handle lapses in time in a creative way to where it's like you start the movie with the exact same camera that just glides through the whole thing.
Oh, interesting.
It is so cool.
I'm interested to see that.
There's this really great piece of dialogue where Michael Keaton, he loses his lead actor, so he's like, "Get me!" What is he? He's like, "Get me Fassbender, get me Jimmy Remner." Like, he names all these people, and they're like, "They're in Marvel, they're
X-Men, they're Avengers."
He's like, "They put everyone in a fucking cape," and it's funny because you think like these are our best actors of today, and like right now they're all wrapped up in franchises,
and superhero movies. Yeah.
But
right, move on from
I do want to say that I saw a preview for a movie. It comes out Friday. It's called Nightcrawler. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I saw it. It's good. It's so good.
It comes out Friday. I haven't heard anything about it, and it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna get behind that movie the same way we did with John Wick, which, by the way, like blew expectations out of the water. It did double the amount that people expected it to do, and I'd like to think that screenplay helped that because we really pushed that fucking movie.
You know, they also had like a Call of Duty tournament and everything else. So.
Oh, they also had like I think Payday 2. If you bought like you could get like tickets if you anyway.
That's
but
cool.
No, but John Wick did
screenplay.
No, screenplay definitely helped. It was that Keanu interview, man. But no, it's a fucking awesome movie. But same thing. That's my pick for this week. I think it comes out this week in Nightcrawler.
Yeah, it comes out on the 31st.
I saw at the beginning. I saw it at Fantastic Fest. That movie's fucking phenomenal. And Jake Gyllenhaal, he is like almost like Walter White in the sense where he's not overtly evil. Like he's not like, slice people's necks and killing people, but like every action he does that leads to other actions, over time you're like, this guy's fucking horrible person.
Yeah, all I know from the trailer is he gets footage for news teams and stuff.
Yeah, he's kind of like a TMZ kind of guy where he like, he has a police scanner, and at the beginning of the movie he's just trying to find any job as he can whatsoever. There's a really great scene where he's stealing manhole covers and fences, and he's selling them to people for the materials, like so they can melt it down. So he goes with all this obviously robbed like material, and then he's talking to the guy there, and he's like, "Hey, I want a job here. How can I get a job with you?" And the guy's like, "I'm not gonna hire you. You're a fucking thief." Yeah. And he's like, I respect that, you know, like, but so it's this totally like kind of self-made man, and then you see him go from like driving a shitty car, not having much money, to like being more and more successful, and then over
challenger
time,
by the end of it. And
yeah, he's super
Yeah.
greedy. There's an amazing car chase sequence at the end of it, and it's one of those movies like Network where it has so much to say about media, and has so much to say about like we don't care if we show someone's like life falling apart or someone murdered or bloody, as long as it gets ratings. So it's if you get a chance, yeah. It gets a good call because that's a good fucking movie.
So do we want to
talk about Marvel stuff?
dive into that whole spiel?
Well, okay, it's hard. You have to be living under a rock because Marvel's been announcing a bunch of stuff. We haven't done a screenplay since they did the Age of Ultron trailer last
Are you
week.
gonna do the movie quote?
Oh yeah, thank you.
I saw that just worried glance, baby.
Before we jump into Marvel, hey, Miss Lilu,
Lilu.
Lulu.
tell us what the movie quote of the week is.
All right. It is, I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every time I see it. Now, remember to tell us who said it and from what movie.
With the
That's-
hashtag RT Screenplay.
RT Screenplay. And don't forget, if you have any comments, opinions, or any insight on anything we're talking about, tweet the RT Screenplay hashtag, and we'd love to bring it up on today's show. And also, before we jump into Marvel, we also took our thumbnail, I think, where we all were holding some sort of a weapon, and we put that on the internet, and we tweeted it. So if you want to make a silly, funny poster out of our newest picture, have at it, and we will use it as our thumbnail for YouTube. There it is. There, like
Chris
Meg,
and I have lightsabers.
Meg looks very
I
deadly.
literally just uploaded a video and they're like, come hold this knife. So that's my job.
Chris and I noticed that since JJ is holding a crossbow, that could be a bowcaster, so he could be Chewbacca. So keep that in mind.
Nice. Okay, so Age of Ultron trailer came out last week. I think it came out a week too early, right?
It got
Yes,
leaked.
it leaked a
So
week
it
ahead
leaked,
of time.
and then
Marvel
Marvel
made-
was like, "Well, we'll release the official
Yeah,
one."
Marvel
they
made a very-
tweeted, "Damn it, Hydra!"
Yeah,
first,
which is awesome.
and then they released it in HD.
That's funny. That trailer is fucking sick.
Love it.
The Hulkbuster armor, and the Hulkbuster armor does a really good job, and it was the whole point of it in the comics. And they do a great job in the movie version, where it really shows how big the Hulk is. Like you see how small Iron Man is in that suit, and it really puts a scale on how big.
People are pissed at Tony. He's getting fights with the Hulk. He's getting fights with Thor. There he goes. Yeah. It's like there's a lot of tension in the Avengers, which could be an interesting segue into the next Captain America movie.
Right, the Civil War.
And
So, yeah.
I love this trailer just for the fact that they went like kind of stylistic with it. Like they have that kind of creepy kid song.
Yeah.
James Spader's crushing it as the voice of Ultron. Like
Yeah.
he's got such a great voice.
He's good. It feels like there's a bad guy, a good villain. You know?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
just we're not just milking Loki over and over.
Yeah.
He seems like they're setting him up to be like.
And he's scary. Like even when he's all broken and twitchy and he
he's like-
smashes.
And that's all James Spader too. He was in a mocap suit interacting with the guys on set. That's like all his performance, his physical
Wow.
performance. So it's really cool.
That's really cool.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Silver Streams following Quicksilver now that X-Men really like raised the bar for what Quicksilver can be.
That was very reminiscent of Superman's super speed in like Smallville and
Yeah.
like those old, versions of super speed. This doesn't look that super good.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the trailer? Let us know on Twitter. But also, I don't know if it's for sure yet, but Benedict Cumberbatch is in talks. Possibly, might be Doctor Strange.
Doctor
Is Doctor Strange?
Yeah, he's in final talks apparently. They did announce the director, and it's the guy that did Sinister and The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That's interesting.
My theory is that it's going to be a really trippy kind of horror movie.
Supernatural-esque.
Yeah, there's so much freaking Marvel movie news out today. Andy Serkis was in that trailer. I don't know if you noticed
is
that.
in the
He's
Ultron.
he's supposed to be the bad guy in the Black Panther movie.
Oh, so they're setting him up.
Yeah, it's a dude that's in the comic books is searching for not adamantium. I can't remember the metal. It's like the metal that Captain America's shield is made out of.
It was funny seeing all these tweets after the Cumberbatch thing came out. My friend Alice from the UK tweeted and was just like, "No, you're in everything. You ruin everything. You blah blah blah. You look like a foot."
Dude, as one of the Cumber bitches, I take offense to that.
So he changed that name, right? Like he got he was, I guess his PR company was like, you can't call your fans Cumber bitches. So they started calling. They came up with other. I forgot what they have. They have like, it's so like they've all fallen into like different categories. Like there's like no word anymore. They've all come up with like with Cumberbatches or I don't know.
It's Cumber bitches.
I think so too.
I want him to like kick down a wall and be like, "It's Cumber bitches." Like I think that'd be great. That'd be a great thing.
That's your fantasy.
So that's great. You can leave now. There's no sex. I just wanted that one line, please.
Did you see the video of him on the Graham Norton show where he couldn't pronounce penguins?
What was he saying?
Pinglins? Pinglins? Every time he said it was like
an L?
It was like every time he said it was like that. And he was a narrator for some documentary about like some wildlife video, and then every now and then it'd be like, as you see here in the rainforest, we actually have penguins. And every time he pronounced it, it was worse and worse.
Who can't say penguins?
Apparently he can't, which is funny because he's starring as the wolf in DreamWorks' Penguins movie.
Oh wow, that's funny. Yeah, he did awesome in Star Trek. He's been awesome in fucking that.
Did you see Sherlock?
Sherlock, yeah.
And he's Smaug, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have full faith in him being Doctor Strange.
He's got such a great like rumble voice.
No, yeah, he's really good at voices.
And I feel like he could do like a really trippy, like Doctor Strange is kind of like not your regular superhero. He's kind of like an out there kind of dude. So I think that he could do a good performance.
So there's no way we can talk about every single one of these movies. What's blowing my mind is that the next Captain America movie, which they already talked that Tony Stark would be a big role in. He's not just like cameoing, like he's a big part in the movie.
So it's based off of the Civil War series.
They're calling it Civil War. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They're just coming out and saying Civil War, and then the next Avengers movies 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. It's a 2-part in the.
It's technically Avengers 3. It's War of
Infinity War.
Yeah, the Infinity War. I guess it's based on
The Infinity Gauntlet and all that.
Yeah, and Thanos, and that's supposed to be a 2-parter. The first one being part in May 2018, and the second one coming out in May 2019.
Somebody just tweeted, it was at the bottom of our ticker, that they want to call themselves Cumberbatches now. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
I could roll through. They announced Captain America: Civil War.
He's got his notepad. Yeah.
They got a new Doctor Strange we talked about. Thor Ragnarok. They haven't given much information, but apparently Tom Hiddleston's supposed to reprise his role as Loki.
No Hulk standalones.
Nope. Black Panther.
I think they've done enough of them.
And did you see that Edward Norton did an interview where he was like, the reason I'm not Hulk anymore is because like I got everything I needed out of that part.
Yeah, I love that he's
and,
like he was like,
I
yeah, it was
at that.
It
it's
was
not that
my
they didn't
call.
Want me. Yeah, it's not that nobody liked me.
That's like when Gwyneth Paltrow gets divorced, and she's like, what,
"I'm good."
What is conscious uncoupling? Is that what she called it? It's so weird.
Black Panther, that's supposed to be starring Chadwick Boseman. He's the guy from Get On Up and 42. That's going to be good. Captain Marvel, which is really cool news because this is going to be the first female-led superhero film in this current run of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which is kind of going to go because they've been getting a lot of slack because DC announced that they're doing their Wonder Woman movie, which we're going to talk about in a bit. Which is really crazy because everyone's saying like DC's beating Marvel to the punch in their first female movie, and I'm curious to see how well it does. You know, because it's Wonder Woman's always worked really well on TV, and it's hard to make that crossover.
I'm sure they'll do fine.
How is there not a Black Widow movie? Because
they have a script for it apparently.
Yeah,
but they
hasn't been made,
gone out and made
right.
one.
Because she kills it as Black Widow.
One last film they're also doing in Humans, which is kind of like a lesser-known franchise, sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think Guardians of the Galaxy proved... Also, they announced Guardians of the Galaxy 2. They booted that up 2 months from its original release.
Is there a side name for that or anything? Or
they have no subtitles, so it's really not a lot of information, but speculation says that it's going to be based on Star-Lord's dad.
Yeah,
because they kind of alluded to that.
Which like the last one, they were like they were going to go find him.
Which apparently there's not going to be his dad isn't the same. Like they're not giving him the same dad from the comics. They're going to make up a new kind of. I think it's going to be the guy in the cocoon.
I mean, they did that with the blue guy with the mohawk. Who's the
guy in the cocoon?
That creep. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the guy that's
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. Yeah, Michael Rooker.
He was very sweet. Yeah, in a real creepy way.
I think it's Yondu or something.
Yondu. Yeah, and he has like and does a little.
His character in the comics is actually a good guy. He's one of the.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but he's like an asshole in this one. So.
Yeah,
he's kind of like an anti-hero asshole kind of.
I loved the way they built up his arrow. By the way, it was like, oh, who's afraid of this one stupid arrow? And then it just takes down all those guys, and you're like,
cool.
Oh, I'm afraid of this stupid arrow now.
It was a great build-up. I love how even Yondu has like somehow he's from space, but he has a southern accent.
I love it.
I'll roll with it. Cool.
It works.
They met Michael Rooker and they were like, well, let's just
even
go with it.
Even space has a deep south part. So we're talking about Wonder Woman. So it's Gal Gadot, who a lot of people weren't necessarily excited for when they found out. They think she's too tiny because Wonder Woman in the past has always been kind of
beefier.
Like
and then
which I get that.
Yeah, I see.
I do, but watch Fast and the Furious. She kicks ass.
Yeah.
Well,
She's amazing.
Her outfit makes me. Everyone's been comparing to Xena more so than Wonder Woman, but the original Wonder Woman outfit's kind of tacky in the sense with the colors. Like David E. Kelly, who did the practice on those TV shows, did a Wonder Woman pilot for NBC like a few years ago, and it was awful. I saw it.
Oh, with the pants.
Yeah, the silver pants.
They were hearing about that. Yeah.
They were going with the new 52's version of Wonder Woman. I love how you have a hood on, so whenever you need to turn your head,
I know,
you're
I have to like turn my head
Zero
on.
purple.
Excuse me, I'm taking the hood off. Hood come down.
Like a puppy
hood
with
down.
a cone.
Yeah, who was supposed to be in that original
Adrian Pilecki.
Oh, that was-
she
she was
was
the
from
pilot.
Friday Night Lights.
pilot? Yeah.
She was weird as Wonder
And it didn't
Woman.
even
Nah,
look
she
like
looked
her.
great.
You think so?
Yeah, she looked great.
I just didn't like the pants.
Well, I just think it was weird that this is a guy who usually writes like courtroom stuff like Ally McBeal and like Practice and stuff, and then he was taking on Wonder Woman. And Joss Whedon came out and said like some people don't need to be writing unless you need to write superheroes. Like you shouldn't be writing superheroes.
What does that mean?
It means like, because Joss Whedon hasn't only written superhero movies. Like he writes real films. He did a Shakespeare adaptation.
Yeah.
He does whatever, but there's still like a big pull in him that he must write, comic storylines for actual comic books. Like Kevin Smith has written storylines for comic books. So it's just like this need. He's like, he was saying, if you're one of those people that can sit around and talk about these people with powers for hours, then you can write. If you
Only real nerds should write movies. Is what
no,
he's
I mean
saying.
totally.
That's what he's saying.
With great power comes great
Responsibility.
responsibility.
Which is weird
Indeed.
because Chris Nolan was always so like dismissive about like the Batman universe. He kind of
Yeah.
was like, I want to take some of it, but not really
But
be
I
in
think
there.
that that's a cool element to have when making a comic book movie, is to see like a different perspective. Like, don't follow the source material exactly, get a different take on it.
I think that's what overran Dark Knight Rises for me, and I'm one of those people that does not like that movie. Like the Dark Knight's amazing to me. Dark Knight Rises just felt like one, Chris Nolan was bored, and two, kind of phoned it in. But also it was just this sense where like he didn't know if he was trying to make a Batman movie or like a serious, talky, dramatic movie.
Well-
so he had this weird hybrid that didn't really work for me.
Those Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises kind of suffered because they're both, I thought, good films, but you're kind of rooting for the villain more. The villain's just so much cooler than Batman.
Yeah, the Dark Knight is the Joker movie.
Not that I'm saying Batman sucks. I freaking love Batman. I'm excited to see Ben
I
Affleck
think
play him.
that's a thing in a lot of Batman movies. So even like
It's his
Batman Returns,
rogues. Yeah.
like Batman's not introduced into the movie until like really late, and most of the screen time is for the Penguin and Catwoman, and
Yeah.
it's like all these other characters, and Batman's like in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's ever been like a super spot on written version of Batman that we've seen in live action film.
I mean, the one with Alicia Silverstone though, that was the best.
I think
We're gonna
that was
agree
called
that's the
Bat
best.
Nipples, The Return. So Wonder Woman.
It was a joke.
Uncle Alfred.
So the Wonder Woman movie is pushing forward, but they're specifically asking and they're specifically shooting for a female director. So you have like, and here's the sad thing about that is that they're like, well, we only have a handful of go-tos. So it's a bummer that there's only like that Hollywood only feels like there's like a handful of female directors that could handle action. So you have Catherine Hardwicke, who she did 13 in some independent movies, but she more so if she did 13.
Didn't she do Hurt Locker?
I'm Catherine
Bigelow.
Hardwicke. Catherine Hardwicke did the first
Who
Twilight.
did Hurt Locker? So also Catherine
Hurt Locker was
something?
Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine, okay. Ha.
And then she also did Zero Dark 30. I think she'd probably be a good fit. She also did Point Break, which is fucking
Okay,
amazing.
so that's my thing, is like, I think that's just kind of like this press, big move. It's like, oh, we're going to get a female director to direct this female-led superhero movie. I just think that they should get the person that's right for the job, but if they got Catherine Bigelow, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
She's a great director.
I'm all for a female helming this movie, but the way that the PR is pushing it, the way the headlines are coming out, it almost feels like a gimmick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't like that. Like, they just need to make a movie that's good. They shouldn't have to make it like a big, like, look what we're doing, we beat Marvel to it. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's a strange sort of thing.
I mean, sometimes when an artsy director does comic book movies or action movies, you get this really beautiful thing, and sometimes you get Ang Lee's The Hulk, which is just weird.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Meg?
I was going to say, I don't want it to be gimmicky. I agree that it should be the right director for the right movie, but I would say going back to the Gal Gadot body point, I give it a chance, people.
Yeah.
Like, don't judge. First of all,
Absolutely.
I'm a huge fan of her because I love the Fast and Furious movies, and also because you haven't even seen her do it yet. Like, give the gal a moment. Ding, I made a joke.
Nice.
But give her a chance to like kick ass. She can
yeah.
kick ass even if she's tall and skinny.
I think people just like to debate superhero movies. The same
Oh, of
thing
course.
with like
No,
Ben
it's-
Affleck.
yeah.
Ben Affleck was cast, and everyone debated
Lost
about
their
that for
shit.
That's true.
months.
Yeah.
And even whenever
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, Heath
I
Ledger
talked
was the
so
Joker.
much shit
Everyone
about
was like,
that.
"What?"
And I ended up eating all that crow pie or whatever they call that.
Crow pie.
I think I
Sounds
just mixed.
way dirtier than it should be.
Can we mention one more thing about comics and we will just leave this and talk about actual movies?
Sure. Thank you for asking.
Okay, so Apocalypse. Did you mention that in the
Oh, the
last
Tom
screenplay?
Hardy might be Apocalypse?
Yeah, have we talked about that?
I think we talked about it a little bit. I think he'd be a good Apocalypse. It's a little weird that he was Bane.
and he's also going to be bald. if
It's
he
always
doesn't.
it's always a little weird whenever superhero people play superheroes in different universes. But I think Tom Hardy, if I take the Bane voice and because Apocalypse, X-Men, you will bow down. He's got such a crazy voice in the cartoon, so I think the Bane could find something in there.
Yeah, I mean that's just rumor right now, but I don't know. I just wanted to see you guys' thoughts. But let's talk about movies.
Nice. Oh, before we do, hey Mandy's or Andy or Andrew, the intern, can what's the internet saying?
Well, apparently for the Cumber bitches thing, their new name is the Cumber Collective. That's what everyone settled on.
I love that it makes it artsy. We're the Cumber Collective now.
And I've got a lot of misspelled Benedict Cumberbatch names.
You a bitch. You a Cumber
lot.
bitch. I love the delay on that.
Holy shit.
Can I laugh at that? No? All right, cool.
But nothing else from the internet?
Let's see. I have the quote of the week if you're ready for it.
No, let's
You want to give it some
time?
time? All right, sure.
Okay, well,
Hold on, anything else on the internet? I got some porn.
what else? There's I found some
Cats.
tentacle stuff.
Some people have requests for you guys to talk about stuff.
What do they want to hear?
Gotten a lot of requests for American Horror Story,
Okay.
Horror Story, and the Treehouse of Horror Kubrick homage.
Oh, they did a Clockwork Orange thing on there. All right, we'll talk a little bit about that, but in the TV stuff. But right now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about BlueApron.com, and Andy is actually going to tell you a little bit about herself.
About me? Wait, what? What am I doing?
Oh, you're doing that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Andy.
I get to do it this time.
Sorry.
Cooking and eating should be fun, but if you're busy leading a raid or binge watching a show online, don't order out. That gets expensive. You need Blue Apron to make cooking fresh, delicious meals easy. Here's how it works. For $9.99 per meal, Blue Apron will send you a refrigerated box with the right high-quality ingredients in the exact right proportions and simple step-by-step recipe instructions right to your door. And these ingredients come from local farms, so you'll be getting the freshest produce that is currently in season. Meals are 500, 700 calories per serving and are crazy delicious. Cooking takes about half an hour, shipping is always free, and the menu always features new recipes. They'll never send you the same meal twice. Meals like steak with roasted sunchokes and cream kale. And Thai pumpkin curry with basmati rice. Be blown away by the quality and freshness. Blue Apron, fast, fresh, and super affordable. See what's on the menu this week and get your first 2 meals free by going to blueapron.com/screenplay. That's right, 2 free meals just for going to blueapron.com/screenplay.
Was I 2 different people there?
Yeah, totally.
Harvey did it. Can we trust him?
$1,000 to the first person who just holds up a tiny piece of paper that says "Do your own job, JJ."
No, not at all.
$1,000.
Dude, this approach is so stupid, and I'm completely aware that it's so stupid. But at the same time, I'd much rather see someone look like an idiot instead of the top of my head as I read from an
The audio
iPad.
listeners are like, is JJ having a stroke?
Yeah. Exactly.
I just realized about the audio listeners, this makes no sense to them.
Yeah.
I love how last week we had Reisinger on, and he didn't. He just kind of posed the whole time. And one of the top comments on YouTube was like, "I love how John protested this dumb idea." I was like, he was like Black Panther, like,
Shit,
I
I should have
protest this
before.
ad.
Yeah, we should have had little signs. We could have had like a
I
protest.
stand with Andy. It gets better.
Missed opportunity, guys. Missed opportunity.
So they wanted to talk about American Horror Story, and I think The Simpsons. We'll talk about that here in TV. Let's finish off with movies. So there's an Oculus Rift movie. Well, not a movie about the Oculus Rift, but there's a movie called Banshee Chapter, which is a horror film.
Oh, look at you go.
And it got released on the Oculus Rift this past week, and it's for free. If you have the dev set up or the account with the Oculus, you can download the movie for free. And apparently it's a crazy experience. I think it was shot in 3D, but it's actually immersive in the sense when you turn around and turn, I think only 180, not 360.
Yeah.
But you can look around within the movie.
I bet
You know what's crazy about that? It's basically the same as a video game, right?
Yeah.
Except
Like,
you don't
yeah.
control it.
I mean, a
It's
video
just strapped
game.
to your face.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
live action.
Yeah.
yeah, but like a video game is
You can
like
look
you go
around in video
just the
game.
cinematics of a video game or something,
Yeah.
right?
But
Yeah.
it's super good graphics because it's real.
No, they're people. They shot this
Yeah,
with
yeah,
real-
Yeah,
but I
that's
mean,
what
I'm
he's
sorry, it's like
saying,
the
like,
way
it's the same principle.
same format. It's like you go through a horror video game and you look around and you see things that scare you and you're following a story.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now we're doing it where it's a movie.
Do you think this will ever become a thing, though?
This sounds like the worst idea ever, but in the greatest way, which is that strap something to your face that's going to scare you that you can't get away from. Like,
Yeah.
that
I mean,
sounds
here's the
terrible to
deal.
me, but I would absolutely do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And it's how long will it take before someone does it's like, well, we could do it with porn.
Well, it's already
Oh,
happened.
I'm sure no.
That's already happened.
Porn always, and look, we talked about Fleshlight last week. Now we're talking about porn. It's just become, that's a whole nother, well, this is the screenplay podcast and porn is on screens.
That's true.
So next week we've got Jenna Jameson coming by. But no, but the thing is, porn is always so funny, but it's true. They're always the leader of technology.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like,
well,
there's,
they choose HD or Blu-ray.
well, no, yeah, exactly. They like wherever porn goes, that's where technology follows. They're the first person to figure out, like, wait, you can put naked pictures on this internet thing? Well, let's do that. Oh, you can. Let's get photos and videos on a phone, and like, you know, they always find the best way to stream it and stuff. And like, they're just
Steve Jobs is like, and that we have a telephone device, a porn device, and whatever the hell it said.
Music device.
Yeah, and a music device.
All in one.
There's porn on the go.
It's crazy. It's well, I mean, it is the oldest profession, I guess, to an extent. But
I could go into a really dumb story.
I'm sure you could.
Okay, so I took that 3D class, and then I had those. One of our textbooks would come with the red and blue glasses, which the name of those is, eluding me right now. But yeah, so we had those red and blue glasses, and my teacher had been talking about how they made 3D porn. So I went home and I looked some up just to see how it was the worst 3D I ever saw, but I saw it in 3D, so yeah.
It's like a money shot in 3D, like gimmicky.
Ow, my eye.
Like you hated 3D movies where they're like, oops, I spilled my drink. You're like, that's kitschy. Would you be like in porn, be like, oh, great?
Well, they were doing stuff where they're like throwing things at the camera and by the camera, and it was dumb.
I think Gavin has a Phantom
stuff?
camera.
Who throws stuff at porn? Who's like, boobies?
That's why it wasn't very good. But yeah,
I don't think you were actually watching porn. I think you were just watching a 3D video.
just boobs. I guess,
He's still aroused. So yeah, we'll see if this turns into a thing. Oculus Rift style movies. I remember a while back, Interstellar was doing an Interstellar experience where they're going to different cities, and I think they just had like locations from the movie digitally, and you could walk around and look around and stuff. I just feel really weird about the idea of like sitting next to a bunch of people with headsets on and no one's really like, I feel like you get robbed or someone could like fuck with you or something.
You could take it off. It's not locked to your face.
Yeah, I know, but if you're
right up there.
but how would you know?
You see that shitty
You
Gerard
just feel your body.
that Gerard Butler movie Gamer?
Similar to that, yeah.
Yes.
I'm waiting for that kind of gaming experience where it's like you can move and walk and they have it now, but it's just not like, but like for like a general use, like people can buy that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
More movies.
Very cool. Okay, so just really quickly, I do want to talk about this thing for only a couple of minutes, but there was this really funny video on the internet this week. It was kind of like, if you remember from your childhood on SNCC, on Nickelodeon, they had this Are You Afraid of the Dark show, which was kind of like
good.
Tales for the Crypt.
Amazing.
It was Tales for the Crypt for little kids, which actually kind of scared the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the
Yeah,
earlier
terrifying.
episodes, I think Ryan Gosling's in one. I think it was a Canadian produced show, actually.
Yeah, it was shot all in Canada.
That with the Grassi.
Tia and Tamara
Submitted
Mowry are
a
in
lot
And
it.
they ate all the maple syrup. Oh no, dear goodness.
Submitted for your approval of the Midnight Society.
And then they throw sand in the fire.
What was in that bag?
It would make the fire like more colorful and alive.
I like that, like the better looking and more talented kids would always leave, and they'd always have to recast them. Like every
Oh, yeah.
season, they'd be like, "Oh, let's take
Midnight
the
Society.
yeah." But so someone on the internet, and I saw this thing on the Onion or the AV Clubs, they made an Are You Afraid of the Dark, but it's the Bill Murray edition, and it's all these like tall tales. And I think we've all heard of Bill Murray's stories. Some of them are true though. Like at one point they talk about like, I went to a bar and Bill Murray was the bartender, and they say he does it all the
I
time.
heard that happened in Austin.
He did that.
I told that story. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's one they tell in the video where they talk about how their guy was in an elevator, and then Bill Murray walks in and holds the hold button between floors and then looks at the person and says, "No one's ever gonna believe you." I've heard that version, but I've heard it that someone was outside, like eating outside on a New York sidewalk, and then Bill Murray came and took some French fries, dipped it in their ketchup, and then said, "No one's ever gonna believe you." So it's weird that Bill Murray has turned into this like Paul Bunyan of sorts.
I just love that Bill Murray's like, what can I do to fuck with people today?
Urban legend,
Do-do-do-do-do.
Well, I mean, I just hear all these great stories of him, and it's funny because they talk about how like he doesn't have an agent, and you have to leave a voicemail and then write a letter, and that's all true. Like that's how you get Bill Murray in your movie.
You put smoke signals, and then at 3 o'clock, if he wants to be in it,
You have to, in front of a
you flip the lights.
in front of a mirror with soap in your eyes, and you turn around and say Candyman.
AV Club made that?
What's that?
Or Onion made that?
I think they just posted it. I think someone else made
what I
it.
was checking out.
But I thought that was a clever kind of approach to all the Bill Murray,
Speaking of Bill Murray, Brandon has been going on and on about St. Vincent and how it's awesome.
I hear, and it's Melissa McCarthy and Bill Murray, and I hear they're playing completely different characters.
They're not their usual typecasted selves.
Which is always good to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, St. Vincent, I've heard nothing but good things. That and Skeleton Twins, I definitely really want to see, which is the Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig movie.
I'll see St. Vincent because that little boy that's in it, like in the trailers, his performance is fucking hilarious and awesome. So and I hear it's a good date movie. So
nice,
ladies.
Okay, so before
ladies,
we move
if you're in,
How hard that was.
if you're in the 100-mile radius that's in Blaine's
Ladies.
Tinder,
Let's move on.
We should just show a black and white photo of Chris now. Just R.I.P.
Because he will die after this.
Yeah.
All right, Mandy, what was our quote of the week? I have no idea what it was.
Okay, well, Ginny Nolf was the first to correctly identify the person.
Nolf,
and
who's been on the
movie,
show.
Son of a bitch.
which was actually the same person, Beetlejuice. But she correctly identified that his name is spelled differently than the movie. It's spelled with a G-U-I-S-E.
Yeah, it's either spelled Gius or Juice. Or, yeah, like they always. It's a weird.
He is Goose, and the movie is Juice. Weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Keaton because of Birdman.
From Birdman. We're here for your daughter, Chuck. Such a good fucking movie. I love Beetlejuice. And, you know, it's similar to Addams Family in the sense where, like, we're going to talk about Addams Family here in a bit because we all watched it this week, but it's like, it's an older movie, and you remember it from your childhood for being really funny, and you watch it now and go, holy shit, that's fucking dark.
Yeah.
But, okay, so they wanted us to talk about American Horror Story, which I have this theory about American Horror Story, and Nolf actually, who just got the quote right, hates me for it, but she knows that it's true to an extent. And I feel like American Horror Story is really big with a female audience. Like, I know that she's like,
look to me. I don't know if we don't have a meeting before this. We don't all meet and discuss.
Don't lie to me.
What would we like to discuss this week, ladies?
Well, let's see. Do you watch American Horror Story?
I do not.
How about you, Mandy?
No.
No? Okay, well.
Your theory is wrong.
Well, I know that more girls talk about it than dudes do, and I don't know. And there's a lot of girls have been like, well, my boyfriend likes it, or like my.
That's interesting because actually at SourceFed we had 2 male hosts that watched it, and we got 1 female host to watch it. But it was Steve and Elliot both really loved American Horror Story, and we're very passionate about it.
no, I do feel like I know a lot more females that watch it. Huh. Like, that's how I was introduced to the show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I only watched, I think, parts of the first season, but...
First season was good.
I just don't watch anything that's scary. Like I'm a baby with scary stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the new season, so this is a really awful topic for us to kind of touch on.
We don't have to.
But I've heard good things. It's really hard to talk about like specific episodes of new shows. But let us know what you think about the about this new season, because I've heard different things. I've heard good things about the first season, shite things from the second season, okay things about Coven. The third season, and then I haven't heard anything about the fourth season. So if you're watching it, tweet us, let us know, or comment underneath here on YouTube and let us know, what do you think about Ryan Murphy's current season, Freak Show, which to me is just kind of a ripoff of Carnival, which was a great HBO series. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. What's really interesting is Ryan Murphy's doing a whole nother show called, it's not American Horror Story, it's like, or it's American Crime Story or something. So it's going to be like where every season is based on one famous crime. So once the first season they're doing is going to be all based on the O.J. Simpson story.
Okay. No, that sounds actually really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I like crime stuff and like
Totally.
Law and Order and whatnot. Yeah.
Law and Order, man, that theme song was always what teetered me away from watching it. It just seems so old.
Away?
Yeah, I would never watch Law
Drew
and
me
Order.
in. I'd be like, yeah.
Bum bum.
Dun, 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 dun.
See, it's catchy.
In the criminal justice system, or whatever the fuck they say.
CSI, there's a lot of great crime shows.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on television. Okay, so Rainn Wilson, who most people know as Dwight from The Office, he has this production company that it's called Soul Pancake. Mostly they know he started off doing really well with this kind of web show called Kid President.
Kid President. My friend Zach Anner did a show.
Oh, for Soul Pancake?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah. They have a lot of great comedy sketches, and Soul Pancake's very cool.
Yeah, they're really
great.
cool.
So they, what he's doing is he's trying to start this new TV show based on famous Vine and web celebs. And what was really funny is this got posted last week, and I put a little star next to it, like, hey, maybe we'll talk about this on Screenplay. And one of the first comments after he announced all the people he was putting on it, the first comment was like, what's the guy's name? Curtis Lepore? One of the first comments on the article on the internet was like, you're going to put Curtis Lepore in your show even though he's a convicted rapist or alleged rapist or whatever.
Well, something flashed, but then it went away. It could have helped us, maybe not.
It's The Ring.
There it
we
is.
go. So Rainn Wilson says, after much consideration, decision was made with Curtis to mutually part ways on Soul Pancake's television project featuring Vine stars. We felt this was the best decision for everyone involved. We wish Curtis the best in all his future endeavors. So here's this weird thing. Here's this guy, and he was dating another super famous Vine chick.
Oh yes, I've heard this story.
And some shit went down after some crazy night. I don't know if drinking was involved or whatever, but she pressed charges against him, and it was this whole thing. And then I think he somehow bargained a lesser charge out of it. Mm-hmm. But at the end, after it was all said and done, this motherfucker, he tweeted like a picture of himself, and it said, "Hey, like or retweet if you would like consensually have sex with this with this guy."
Then he tweeted something about how he was going to tell everybody the real story in like a year or something. I guess he had to be quiet for a year. Yeah.
What a scumbag.
So he
was. I didn't read all of it, but I do remember when he tweeted that, like that blew up, and he seemed like a scumbag.
Such a douche. And it was weird because I saw another article. It was like there's a bunch of girls that are supporting this like kind of alleged rapist on the internet, and it is terrifying. And it kind of reminded me about like when Justin Bieber got in trouble for driving drunk and being crazy, and all these girls are like, "Free Bieber," and it's like, that guy could have taken out a family or something.
That guy that beat Rihanna, was it Rihanna?
Right, yes, Rihanna.
Yeah. Chris Brown, yeah.
So, I mean, there's always going to be crazy girls sticking up for psychos. I mean, look at Scott Peterson and all those girls that are like, yeah, but he's hot. And
always.
And in Gone Girl, there's that
That's
scene.
what I was saying. It's like, what about a movie like Gone Girl? How does that affect like people's perception of like incidents like this, where someone is
He said, she said?
Yeah.
I feel like after Gone Girl, I feel like the next time there's like a missing woman case going on in the news, everyone's going to be like, what if she's alive, though?
It's just incentivize more murders of wives. Like, I'm inspired by that movie.
Bad.
No.
We don't console. We don't get
Condone.
behind. Yeah, we don't condone murdering your wife.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Is this the part of the show where we talk about Rain? I'm ready to talk about the CW drama Rain if everybody's ready to talk about it.
No, explain to me what Rain is.
I overheard you and Ashley talking about this, how
I'm trying
terrible
to
it
convert
was.
everybody in the office. It's amazing.
What is this show?
It's Mary Queen of Scots. It's on the CW, so I think that's all you probably need to know about it. But it's the story of Mary Queen of Scots. If somebody just maybe skimmed the Wikipedia page and they're like, got it, and then they just made a CW drama about it. It's so historically inaccurate, but it is addicting, and about 12 people who watch or listen to this will agree with me.
Nice.
I heard it's like one of those so bad you have to keep watching.
Oh no, it's amazing.
It's got a 7.7 on IMDb.
Thank you. It is I enjoy it, and I'm somebody who's like cringing every time. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. Well, who cares?
We'll definitely check out Rain.
You should all watch it.
I'll definitely check it out after I get done watching the Carrie Diaries or whatever that show is.
Oh, I'm not a Sex and the City person.
Oh, really?
Not one of them.
But you're such a Samantha.
Oh,
no,
I do. Samantha's the one who sleeps with a bunch of people, right?
Is she?
Samantha.
She's strong and independent.
Right? Is that the one that
I guess
she gets
so.
breast cancer with the wig?
Okay. So moving on. Who here knows? This is comic based, but not necessarily superhero comic based.
Go on.
Who knows? Who's familiar with Archie comics, like Archie, Jughead, Veronica? I know you
I
are.
used to read those.
Yeah.
So they're making a live action kind of high school drama series based on these characters.
Like
But
live
he's
action?
dead.
Who, Archie?
Yeah, he died.
Did he die in the
Yeah,
in the comics?
He died in the comics.
I remember
I lost
I remember
track
a few
after
years
a
ago
couple
it was a big
He
deal.
died like a couple months ago.
Well, they had their first like
He'll be
big
back.
gay. They had a gay character
Yeah,
a few
He'll
years
be
back.
back.
They
Yeah, I remember
they
that. That
revealed
was
one of
a
their
big
characters
thing,
was
yeah.
gay. It was a big deal.
So my dad used to read Archie and Jughead. It's been around for years.
It's one of those things that's kind of it's like it's an institution, but I don't know. I never got into it. I know about like Josie and the Pussycats and all that. And actually, I think Josie and the Pussycats is an awesome fucking movie.
I just love how are those two like? Oh yeah, like Archie. I got Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, well, no, because
Like,
they're in the same universe.
related. Oh, are they really?
Yeah, that's the same.
I've
they're-
never known that.
So in the show Riverdale, I think the show's gonna be called like there's gonna be Archie, Jughead, Josie and the Pussycats. It's gonna be all in this whole
Wow.
high school setting.
Anybody else? Or the Snorks or anything else?
No, I don't think the Snorks are gonna be on there. Don't quote
Sabrina
me on
the
that.
Teenage Witch is in the same universe, though.
Really?
Sabrina
Same
the Teenage Witch.
comics, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So and then Blaine, you were the one saying you read the article and you were saying that they're going to kind of maybe go for a Twin Peaks kind of mystery vibe. Or?
Yeah, it was apparently supposed to be like a Twin Peaks combined with they compared it to some like high school drama sort of thing.
I'm obsessed with Twin Peaks now.
Oh, isn't it so good?
Obsessed.
I'm like, you know, what do they say about the coffee and the pie? It's like so good.
It's the whole series. Watch it on Netflix if you haven't seen it. Catch all the way up.
Yeah, because it's coming
there.
out on Showtime.
Yeah.
They brought it back. It
In
got so popular on
2016.
Netflix.
Yeah,
I
that it's
fucking
coming
love
back.
Twin
And
Peaks.
it ties in. Like, was it masterminded the whole time to
Yeah.
wait 25 years? We don't know.
What's that whole tie-in?
In the very last episode, it's not a spoiler. Someone says to someone, "I'll see you in 25 years,"
That's cool.
and it's going to be exactly 25 years is when they come back.
I dig it. I like it.
No
That's
spoilers.
No, it's pretty awesome.
It's really cool.
Is that like one of the longest running?
No, it wasn't long. It was only
No, I'm saying like.
like between TV things? I don't know.
Considered a sequel, not a.
I don't know. Other
It's
shows,
not a sequel.
Tron.
It's a continuation.
other shows have done it though. Dallas did that. Dallas came back. No one cared.
This is
Was
not
that a remake, though?
Yeah, this is not a remake or a sequel. It is a continuation of the original storyline.
Yeah, because like Tron was a sequel, and that held the record for like the
Yeah.
longest.
Yeah, it must
divide.
be. I don't know of any show that waited 25 years to come back.
All right, so let's move on to Movie Book Club. Before we do, there's a couple of things that I forgot to mention as far as movies. There is a picture of Kevin Smith. He shaved his
Oh my
beard.
God, he looks like such a
And
random
we have it.
dude
Look
on the
at that.
street.
Holy shit! Look at that, dude.
Swipe left.
He looks like he looks like he shed 30 pounds in 30 years.
Yeah.
He looks like, and apparently he shaved it because they're doing this Canadian Hoosiers movie, movie, and it was a green screen situation. He had to shave it for the green screen. I don't understand how
Well,
that
hopefully
works.
he can shave off that fucking hockey jersey that he always wears.
Never.
No, why would you want to change
it's a
that?
statement,
And the
Blaine,
backwards
about how
cap.
he wears the same clothes that he did when he was heavier.
It's like a cartoon character.
And so we were
hate
talking
it.
about Marvel earlier, heavy Marvel stuff. And one thing that always drives me crazy, like on the movie Reddits and things, are when people are like, I don't understand why Wolverine doesn't just show up in Captain America or in the Avengers, or why isn't Beast in the Avengers, or Spider-Man's part of the
Because
Avengers.
dumbass. No, sorry.
Yeah, so like, and there's always people go like, well, when is this going to happen? Why don't they just do this? You know, like, and why can't these guys play together? And like, it always drives me crazy because like, there's the whole business point of view where like, you don't get it. Like, these are like companies that own these rights.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
when I'm in the bath and I have my action figures, I
all
play together.
play, and then-
Also, we were talking about Kevin Smith being heavier, and then you said heavy Marvel stuff, and I just thought of like a lot of big Marvel characters. Like,
This is
welcome
funny.
to heavy Marvel.
Well, I was showing my girlfriend the trailer for Age of Ultron at the house this weekend, and she was like, didn't really understand things and was trying to understand, like, why about this? What does this have to do with X-Men or whatever? So I drew this like map, this like roadside map, and I said, there you go, there it is right there. And it was like, and she was so in awe of me. She was like, you should be a teacher. And I was like, of Marvel stuff?
And that's why I keep her around, ladies and gentlemen.
Because I was explaining, like, if you look at Daredevil, so Daredevil was owned by Fox at one point, but they didn't make they had the rights. So if they didn't make the movie in an X amount of years, then the rights went back to Marvel, which now it has, and now there's a Daredevil on Netflix. Which is why Spider-Man 1 and 2 exist, is because if Sony didn't make any more Spider-Man movies, then Marvel would get the rights back to Spider-Man. So, and that's the reason we don't have to show that awful thing anymore on screen.
I just like this. Welcome to the segment. This is what JJ knows about Marvel.
well,
It's
yeah,
out of date.
totally.
It's out of date. Phase 3 is way out of date.
That's the thing about
Phase 3.
this is all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is that so when Sony initially made Spider-Man, they were very excited about doing the Spider-Man universe, and they wanted to make it. But the new Spider-Mans, the reason I feel they're lacking is one, because they were forced and they were really quickly made so they could stay within their contract obligations. But two, like, they're doing it seriously just for money at this point. Like, they're not doing it because it's not something story they want to tell, or they want to do a Spider-Man movie. They're doing it just so they can keep making the money off of it.
They were going to put an Oscorp building in the Avengers.
Yeah.
To cross over the two. And there's been talks between Sony and Marvel, but it just never works out.
No, it never does.
A lot
I
of
always
people,
go for it, babe.
A lot of people are saying that the word mutant is owned by, like, I think it's Fox.
Yeah,
so, like,
true.
So
Own the
like
word?
Inhumans is coming out, and that's going to introduce like this whole different thing, like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
They're miracles.
They're miracles. They're
They're
not
called the year of the miracle.
They're not
allowed
mutants.
to call them mutants.
Yeah, they kind of sum that up
They're
really quick.
mutants.
The mutants.
Yeah.
They sum that up in the Captain America 2 like after credits.
Yeah, and then when it
scene.
says the year of the miracle.
Basically, like, fuck you, Fox. Yeah.
It's this weird, and it's weird because even the Marvel, the comic books, they've started weeding out all the rights to the comics they don't own.
They're killing off
Dude,
people.
they are fucking over X-Men. They're not releasing any new X-Men stories.
They're not introducing any new X-Men characters.
Well, and then for the 50th, they released a poster for the 50th anniversary of Marvel.
X-Men.
There was no X. It was only the movies that Marvel owns. It was like Guardians and all these people that aren't named.
Fantastic Four, they disbanded them, I think, and that's they're not.
So they're
talking
like
about them
completely
anymore.
fucking over the rights to the things that they don't. Yeah, it's this weird
that
situation.
sucks and that's weird. But if you think about it, like if they did have comic books, they're promoting their competition. It's like, what do they do?
So let's move over to movie book club. This is really turning into like we've been we're so Marvel and Star Wars heavy in the last couple of weeks. It's a great time to be alive.
What are you talking about?
Somebody on the Twitter ticker just said they love me, but Rain is like watching Gilmore Girls or Gossip Girl if they shot it in a Renaissance fair. Exactly why I love it. Exactly. Let me sell you this show. Gossip Girl in a Renaissance fair. There you go.
Well, you sold me.
There you go. I've never even seen Gossip Girl, but whatever it is, at a Renaissance fair.
I found out, I don't know anything about Gossip Girl, but I was eavesdropping at a party, and I found out that Gossip Girl...
creeping at a party.
No, yeah. I was at a tween party, just like eating off the food, like, what's going on, kids? You like
So
snort?
you guys in high school too?
Yeah, cool. Totally.
Me too.
Man.
All right.
It was rough, right?
That Minecraft, am I right?
You creeped out right at the beginning of that story.
No, you're right. You're totally right. No, but so I was listening to these tweens, when I was filling the piñata, and
Filling the piñata.
you have
With
this
what? Rubies?
No.
But I found someone spoiled for me that Gossip Girl apparently isn't even a girl. Gossip Girl turns out to be a dude. Right?
Well, big spoiler for everybody else who's out there yet.
Who's gonna fucking watch that show? It's been on for a long time. Don't tell me you're gonna watch Gossip Girl,
man.
You still haven't finished Pretty Little Liars.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
R.I.P. that
reading the
story,
Twilight
because
books.
really, the beginning was the star there.
So, all right. So, moving on to movies and less about my creepiness. So, this week we all watched The Addams Family, which was actually Reisinger's suggestion last week. We were trying to, it's Halloween month, so we've been trying to keep with some kind of scarier kind of movies. So, it's funny how well it aged. I was blown away at how there was only one segment that and like we're looking at the trailer right now. The thing scenes were really well done. There's only a few that look kind of cheesy. Dude, Raul Julia is fucking amazing. I forgot how fucking good he was, man. And it was sad because he did this movie. He did Addams Family Values, a few kind of drama. He's a really good dramatic actor. And then he did Street Fighter 2 and he died short. He was dying on set already.
Really?
Yeah, there's this whole like expose story about like apparently all the Street Fighter 2 actors were like in brothels in random like Asian countries and just getting massages. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was cheating on his wife all the time with Kylie Minogue. And there was drugs and all this crazy stuff. And apparently there was this big fight sequence and then a Street Fighter 2 between M. Bison, which is Raul Julia, versus Jean-Claude Van Damme's Guile. And they had to completely like rearrange it and make it less of a fight sequence because Raul Julia was just in pain all the time.
Wow.
And it's a bummer because M. Bison's kind of a big guy.
Yeah.
And he looks so frail in Street Fighter 2. It's crazy.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, but so moving on to Addams Family, I was blown away about how, because like I'm saying, this guy is such a dramatic actor, but he's so over the top in this movie, and it works.
Oh, he's perfect. I also love the light on the eyes. Morticia's light is amazing.
I love Morticia.
I just love
She's great.
This film holds up super duper well, as does the follow up. And I love how convoluted the storyline is, but it's still great. Like you're like, oh, is he imposter? I don't know. They like him. Do they figure him out? Like it's a dumb storyline, but it works so well.
And I'm still not even sure if he's the real Fester at the end.
He's real. I think they made a statement at the very, very end.
Yeah, they like threw a line. They're like, crazier things have happened.
But okay, I think I noticed a flaw though. So if Fester, I think they said he's been gone for 25 years. How do the kids know him?
Just from photos and stuff, I guess. I don't know. That's a weird.
I didn't understand how this fit into like the canon of.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it too
Addams
much.
Family.
It makes more sense unless you think about it.
Okay.
So Pugsley's like whatever, but Christina Ricci's so
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
She's great. And she's great in the next one too. When they go to camp,
So that's M's
She
Family
carries that
Values, which is funny. Is when we told people that we were going to be watching M's Family on this episode, it was Maggie, who works on Ruby, who's like, no, Addams Family Values. That's what people think about when they think about Addams Family movies. And I was like, really though? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I back her up 100%.
It's one of the rare sequels to these kind of movies that actually is good.
Yeah.
Barry Sonnenfeld, who does, it's so obvious. This is the same guy who did like Men in Black and stuff.
It's his debut too. This movie.
It's his feature?
His it's the first film that he's ever directed.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's good. The camera shots, like I was watching the camera a lot and it was doing some really cool things. And there's so much fun going on. Let's see. Like I love it when okay, we were talking about all the characters. Everyone knocks out the park. I was talking to Blaine earlier. Christopher Lloyd, people think
he's always good.
Dude, well people always give like who's the guy that plays Oh God, he's the commissioner. He's Commissioner Gordon. Gary
Oldman.
Gary Oldman. People when they always talk about Gary Oldman and Will Ferrell and Robin Williams and all these and Bill Murray when they always draw these pictures of these actors who've played so many iconic roles. But Christopher fucking Lloyd, he's Doc Brown. He's Fester. He's so many things. He was he was in Dennis the Menace. He was like the scary guy in Dennis the Menace, and he's solid every fucking time.
Roger Rabbit.
He's the villain in Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
And
scary.
he's so scary.
Yeah, he's scary in that movie.
But yeah, man, this movie was really, really good, and I couldn't get over how dark things were at times. Like whenever Wednesday tells her mom, Morticia, when she's like, "Oh, we're playing." Oh, she tells Pugsley, "We're playing a game. It's called Is There a God?"
Yeah.
And then she electrocutes him, and then Pugsley comes down while they're eating dinner with the stop sign, and then you hear the two cars crash, and the mom and everyone is so proud of him.
Yeah. And then she's like Wednesday's walking by with a knife, and she's like, "What's that for? My brother? Is that for your brother?" And she's like, "Yes." She takes it away. She's like, "No." She gives her like a cleaver. Yeah. She's like, "There you go." She just walks off. Like little bits like that. I love that.
I forgot how bloody. I remember as a kid how much I loved the sword fight sequence when they're cutting each other's limbs off.
Great, and all the blood.
That's
So much
really
blood.
good.
And it wouldn't stop too.
And they're like
just,
bowing.
They're
with
bowing. It's so funny.
I remember watching this because this movie's old, so I was very young, and I remember must have been in elementary school, or maybe just right out of it or something. But I remember going to a friend's house. It was like a family that we carpooled with, and the dad was super strict. No, strict. their dad was super strict about like sexual stuff and bad language. Like if we were watching anything, and he would turn it off. And we were watching the Addams Family, and it's that scene where he's like, what is Gomez always calling Morticia?
It's
He's
not
always,
being more. It's
Mon chéri.
Yeah. And then the music's always ramping up, and he's like, when he's like kissing all over and stuff. The dad came and ejected the tape. He's like, "Nope, not in my house." And I was like, "What?" But that movie, it's really good, and it's hard to sell a movie like that, especially when a show, because the Addams Family is based on the TV show Addams Family, which is similar to the Munsters. They were on around the same time. And it's so hard to say, hey, anytime you do a movie like that, like the Brady Bunch movie or the Beverly Hillbillies, you're like, well, what's the story? There's got to be some sort of kind of arc. So it's so weird for them to say, well, it's this fake Uncle Fester, but maybe he's the real Uncle Fester. Like you're saying, it's so convoluted.
Yeah.
It's such
it's kind of like a mystery, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it works in this weird way, and I don't know.
The sets in this movie, by the way, are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
They're
Oh,
very
yeah.
cool.
House is really cool.
But
Yeah,
that's
it's
sort of
really
when you're talking about how well it holds up, is because so much of it was practical.
Yeah.
As
It's true.
People are going to look at movies in the past 10 years and be like, well, that doesn't hold up. It's because they're all CGI, and CGI is going to get better at practical effects
Yeah.
that they last forever.
I was surprised to see, because I probably haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. I remember so much of it watching it again, though, because it was one of those movies as a kid I watched all the time. But I was blown away at how much it looked like an old movie, like the set pieces and the lights on Morticia's eyes and stuff, and it looked like a monster movie from the old days at times. And I thought that was really
I
cool.
just like that bit where Thing is rushing to the door and he goes, boom, runs to the door and just keeps going. It was really funny. Thing is funny to me. And it.
Two of my favorite scenes, and as a kid I remember loving this, is when Gomez is playing with the train set. And then it cuts to the guy inside the train, in the newspaper, and he's looking over at
JJ.
Gomez, and he's looking crazy.
That's director. That's Barry Sonnenfeld.
Oh, in the train?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's in Men in
cameo.
Black too. There's a few times where he's with his family, and they have to get their eyes boom, the little blinker thing.
He directed Men in Black. That makes total sense.
Totally.
Oh
And
my
the Tick,
God.
the TV version. He was the big force behind that.
Yeah.
He's a really funny guy. He knows his shit. I was blown away at how gothic this movie was, because this came out before Tim Burton's big heyday. And Tim
Well, they
Burton wasn't
talked
around.
about Tim Burton directing it, actually.
Really, I could
Yeah,
totally
that was a
see
thing,
that.
but it ended up happening.
It's so gothic, and
I'm glad
almost
Tim
in a
Burton
beautiful
didn't
way.
direct it, though.
Yeah.
Because it would have been too I'm Tim Burton, I'm making Addams Family. Ha ha
No,
ha, ha.
totally. I love that.
Johnny Depp.
Here's Johnny Depp and Helena
And
Bonham
Helena
Carter.
Carter, yeah.
I love that the sad part is that whenever they're in the hotel and Gomez starts getting normal. He's eating bad food and watching reality TV. And what does he say? He's like, oh, but Sally Jeffrey Raphael's on, and he's calling in on the phone. But and that's the depressing thing. They're all afraid that he's more normal, and that's frightening to them.
But I love that. That's so 90s. That's so embrace your inner weirdness.
No, totally. That movie itself has probably spawned so many. That probably wouldn't be a hot topic without the Addams Family.
Yeah.
So would you suggest this movie?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
I'm probably gonna watch the sequel later this week.
You should.
I think so too. Yeah. You need to watch it before
legit to quit.
Halloween leaves, though.
It's funny because when Cousin It pulls up in his car and there's an MC Hammer song playing, I looked
Yeah.
over at Jen and I was like, well, it's because MC Hammer did like a lot of songs on this soundtrack. Like they did like a rap version of like no 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 no. You know, like in the credits you can hear it. Sorry.
Yes, and then the Too Legit to Quit for Family Values.
That's so right. Too legit to quit. That's so.
I love that it didn't cut to you doing the finger. It cut to me looking disappointed that you were doing the finger thing. That's what it cut to in the video.
Too legit
job, Cole.
to
Just me.
quit.
Loved it,
I'm
Cole.
so disappointed that you're doing the finger. All right, so we're gonna change things up next week. It won't be October anymore when we come back next time. So we're gonna do less scary movies. We're gonna go more back into our kind of good filmmaking films that you may not have known about or missed the first time around. This movie is definitely on the internet on streaming services. It's called Short Term 12. It's got Brie Larson, who a lot of people know from the 21. She was in 21 Jump Street, I believe, and she's been in. I think she was also in. Is she in Superbad? No, she's been around. This is a trailer for the movie. I want to read the synopsis. Like makes the movie sound awful, but it's actually I've heard nothing but good things about it, and all my film friends are saying this movie, and it blew up at South by Southwest. So Brie Larson works at a foster care center, and she navigates through life's problems with her longtime boyfriend. I know that sounds totally lame, but apparently it's a really good movie, and I know it has one of the actresses from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the hardcore Hispanic cop chick. She's in it. But I've heard nothing but good things about Short Term 12. I'm looking forward to it. It reminds me from the trailer, it reminds me a lot of Half Nelson. Did you ever see that Ryan Gosling movie? If you've ever seen Half Nelson, it's a good movie. He plays a teacher. He's teaching these inner city school kids, and he's
How to wrestle?
No, what's up?
Isn't that a wrestling
it's a wrestling
move?
move.
No,
Yeah.
no. He's teaching. No, it sounds like it because it's called Half Nelson. But no, he's teaching these. He's teaching these kids.
It's actually only half of his body exists. His name is
and his
Nelson.
name is Nelson, and he has a real doll. No, but
Oh, that movie's so good.
What, Lars and the Real
Lars
Girl?
And the Real Girl's a
no,
great movie.
if you've never seen Half Nelson, it's cool. It's similar to some of the same people that worked on Blue Valentine. It was the movie they did before
Okay.
Blue
I've
Valentine.
never seen that movie.
That one's really hard to
I've
watch.
heard that's one.
Not a good
that's
date
why I would
movie.
watch
No,
it, yeah.
Eternal Sunshine and Blue Valentines are the kind of movies you don't watch after you break up with somebody.
Or
it-
while you're still together, right? Like, because it's about them falling
well,
relationships.
no, because when
falling
you're still
apart.
together, you're watching it going, that's never going to be us. And then you
And
break
that's-
up and
it's
you
like
watch
already
it.
that tiny fissure of doubt, and you're like, oh my god, I feel this person, and then it ruins it.
There are some movies you can't watch post breakup, and I want to know what movies they are for you. Tweet
that's a
tweet
good
them
one.
or comment them. Let us know. What is the movie that you do not think people should watch after you break up? But no, Half Nelson's good. It's a movie where Ryan Gosling plays a teacher to inner city kids, and he's a great teacher, but at the same time, he's also addicted to crack.
And he shouldn't wrestle his children.
And he
Yeah,
shouldn't
rude.
wrestle his children.
It's that the drugs are wrestling
Yeah.
him.
Whoa. Mirror up to society. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing what you, the community, does with our thumbnail poster. That should be really fun, and we'll post the winner tomorrow. So try your best to make them, and I think the cutoff is tomorrow morning around 10 or noon or so. So keep shooting us those Photoshops, and we'll pick our favorite one. And thank you guys so much for coming on, and we'll see you guys next time here on Screenplay. Let's look at Andy dancing during the credits.
Awkwardly.